I don't know. They send those gimmicks to my house every month called bills. They want me to send the money back.
You like to make money? Okay.
It's a thing I've become known for.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
That I'm not sure that I like to make money.
Mm-hmm.
It might actually be near the top of the list of my favorite things.
Okay. Just want to make sure that we're on the same page here.
Hey, Bad Money Slim wants to know, serious question. Sam's or Costco, Tony?
Well, I've been to Sam's more than Costco.
That wasn't the question.
Okay.
What do you prefer?
I prefer Costco.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they bring the
boom?
Oh, I see. You know where we're going.
Yep, absolutely.
So does Costco get a big
boom?
Yes.
Okay.
Bad Money Slim's a Sam's guy. Of course, he's
it's Bad Money Slim. He's a heel. Hey, Dale Wilkes, I'm sorry, I don't know. When did he pass? Recently?
A few years ago, yeah.
Okay.
I'll look up his exact date of death for you. June 30th, 2021.
Wow.
So almost 4 years ago now.
Could have been a COVID thing.
Now, will you fucking stop?
It could be. I mean, people are dropping like flies during COVID. You know that.
You don't think it was the 400 pills a day? Just guessing.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know for sure. But
you know what? It's funny you should say that because I have a member of the family who has to take steroids for an illness, right?
Roll Tide on that. Is this Jeff Jarrett? Because I know he's on the gimmicks.
No, and I was talking to Lois about how many wrestlers passed because of steroids, right? Anabolic steroids. And without going down a list and trying to, getting families pissed off but there were a lot. I mean, what's a good number, do you think, that pro wrestlers that passed away as a result of taking steroids?
I'm not sure. I mean, in reality, I know we're just busting balls and having fun, but Dale Wilkes passed away of a heart attack. And you would assume, since he's admitted to being a cocaine abuser and steroid abuser, that he probably put a lot of stress on his heart. Yes.
Yeah. And that's one thing that anabolic steroids did. It put a lot of stress on your heart.
Yes.
Right. So sure. I get that, but it's kind of like, it's almost like smoking. Like, yeah, you're enjoying yourself now, but it's going to get you.
Right.
So anyway.
Well, listen, he was a great wrestler, great performer. Of course, I'm just tongue in cheek busting balls, but he did I think later in life, he worked with a lot of people in recovery, and he really turned his life around, and I thought had a successful life after wrestling. I know he had, and I'm not saying this to be funny, he was a successful salesperson, and I hold that in high regard. So
right, sure.
I know he wasn't a fan of my stuff for whatever reason. Maybe he was just trying to court attention online or whatever, but I didn't take it personally. I thought we were just having fun, and then unfortunately passed away.
Yeah, and not only that, Dale Wilkes was pretty cool guy backstage too. So had that going for him, and not all wrestlers have been pretty cool guys backstage throughout the years.
Dave Silva, I guess, has done the research while we were live here, and he says 946 and a half wrestlers have died of steroids. So I think the half was a little person.
Okay.
I don't know where he got the half. I would have just rounded up, but what do I know?
Wow, 946. Holy smokes.
He made that up.
Oh, he did?
Do you think Dave Silva does any research or has any inside track on anything?
No.
Except for what time Whataburger closes.
Yes. Dave, you son of a bitch, put yourself on here, you lying fucker. Let's get Dave on here.
Now he says, what a fucking moron.
Where did you come up with that number?
I'm just picking some random number and putting a 0.5 on it, see what happens. Throw it out there. I'm the Wikipedia of WHW.
That 0.5 was Hornswoggle.
He's still alive. He's not dead.
I know that. I was thinking he's brain dead because we know he's brain dead.
I thought you were going to say it was Sky Low or something.
No, Dylan. We had a lot of fun with Dylan on this podcast, didn't we, at one time?
Well, if you say his name 3 times, he'll appear, so be careful. Hey, by the way, I want to remind everybody that the show we're watching was filmed on February 1st, 1994. And what's interesting about this is in that opening match, we saw the Nasty Boys pick up a win over Bobby Walker. And it says, and an unknown. The match was never televised since the champion shot on Walker with Jerry Saggs trying to bite him in the face. And after the match, the Nasties jumped Walker backstage until the fight was broken up by Blackjack Mulligan. The match was said to have aired February 19th, but the champions were paired up with a new team without Walker the following night, and the match was retaped. So that's what we wound up seeing, which was the Nasty Boys beat Matt Shepard and Scott D'Amore. But I want to ask you, do you remember hearing about Jerry Saggs trying to bite Bobby Walker in the face?
No, I don't remember that, but I do remember hearing about a scuffle that was backstage with the Nasty Boys. And I guess that's the one with Bobby Walker that I remember hearing about.
Well, they also got into it once upon a time with Scott Hall, but that was years later.
But again, you have to realize that when a show goes on and there's a scuffle backstage, I'm doing the show. So if it happened before, like, the Vader Paul Orndorff thing, which happened in this building, then happened right in front of me, I would have seen it. But if it happens during the show, I wouldn't.
As a reminder, Bobby Walker is one of the fellows who sued WCW for discrimination.
Right.
He would say that African-American wrestlers were made to look loud, obnoxious, pompous, and shiftless. And in April of 2001, the judge ruled that WCW had not committed fraud or breached contracts of the plaintiffs, and that the discrimination lawsuit could proceed. And eventually they settled out of court. I do think that's interesting, though, that Walker, Sonny Ono, Hardbody Harrison, like, you wouldn't think those guys have much in common, but getting a payday out of WCW, good for them, I guess.
Yeah, if it works for you, go for the lottery, right? Was Sonny Ono was in that? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I was even under the impression, I mean, I've actually straight up heard this. If it was under $100,000, WCW wouldn't even try to challenge it. They would just settle.
Yeah.
So if someone sued for, say, $80,000, they'd just be like, just cut them a check. Who gives a shit? Which I thought was interesting. Like, wow, really?
Well, when WCW owed me for a couple of pay-per-views because I was paid extra on pay-per-views back then. And when I went to the WWF, I remember telling Bruce Pritchard, and Bruce Pritchard told Vince or someone, and the WWE's lawyer got in touch with Jim Herd, and I got the money pronto. It wasn't much. It was like $3,000, right? It wasn't like $80,000 or anything like that. But I remember thinking, wow, that happened quickly. And it did.